Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to today's video where we've made it to mama season, which means get ready because there's about to be a lot of mama-based content that's coming out in the next couple days because I have a lot to say about the mamas pretty much at all times, but especially when it's like, mama season. So just be ready for that. I don't want to hear it. Anyway, in today's video, we're going to go over the nominees and I'm going to discuss my thoughts. Now, I want to preface this by telling you, I did this video last year. People hated it. It was so amusing to watch how, like, genuinely upset people would get about my opinions. So, like, I'm, like, weirdly hyped for this one. I'm ready. I just want to give you a heads up. You can totally dislike this video. I don't really care. Dislikes have never had that, like, deep psychological effect. Like, my video can have 0 likes and 100 dislikes, and I'll just be glad that I got 100 views, because YouTube views dislikes as engagement, so, like, feel free to dislike. Anyway, just to go over this is going to work. There's a Soompi article in the description that has all the nominees. That's the order we're going in, by the way, if you were wondering. It's just going to be the order of the Soompi article. But you can check that out to see all the nominees. I just want to give you the heads up, though. These are just my opinions. Like, I will be stating opinions. To be fair, my opinions are lore-based because on one of my prior mama videos, like from 2021, someone commented being like, you don't know what you're talking about, like, do better research. I can give you the charting history for every single song that's been nominated. I can tell you where they peaked. I can tell you roughly how long they charted. I don't want to hear that I didn't do my research, okay? So there's that. But also, these are, like, my opinions are mixed. This isn't going to be my, like, really, really messy, like, here's who I want to win type video. That's going to come later. This is also not the snubs video. That's also going to come later. This is just going to be, like, of the listed nominees, what seems weird and who I think should win, just logically speaking. I hope all that made sense because I'm not going over it again because I filmed that section like 8 times before giving up. That was like try number 8. I'm not doing this again. Anyway, our first category is Best New Female Artist, where our nominees are IVE, NMIXX, NewJeans, LE SSERAFIM, Yenna from Eyes 1, and Kepler. Now for this one, in terms of like who has and hasn't been nominated, it all does very much make like logical sense. With one exception, every single debut that I just listed did extremely well digitally, the only exception being NMIXX, who did extremely well physically. So just in general, it all does make total sense. However, I also do want to comment on one thing, because whilst all these debuts did do well, there's one artist on here who I think everyone should be able to agree should be winning, which is IVE. Like, as someone who exists on Twitter, I've seen so many people, like, not even just since the Mama's nominees came out, like, just in the time leading up to it, I've seen so many people be like, oh my god, it's gonna be, like, such fierce competition for Best New Female Artist. And I'll look at that tweet, and I'll pause, and I'll be like, are you on drugs? Like, what world do we live in where IVE shouldn't win? Because, whilst, again, like, all of these debuts were very successful, let's run through some of IVE's stats, okay? Stat number 1. Their lowest peaking song on the Gaon charts peaked at number 2. Their lowest selling album sold around 400,000 copies. Their highest selling album sold around 1 million copies. On top of that, their highest charting songs, I've had 2 number 1 songs this year. They've had 8 weeks of number 1 on the Gaon charts, 7 weeks of number 1 on the Melon charts. And on top of all of that, their least awarded song on music shows has 10 wins. Like, if you don't understand that IVE should be winning this category, I don't know what to tell you. I think you're just wrong. But also, if IVE doesn't win this category, I'm calling it right now, it's going to go to NewJeans if IVE doesn't win. And I'm going to tell you that it's rigged because it's rigged. Our next category is Best New Male Artist, where our nominees are Atbo, TNX, Extraordinary Heroes, Unite, and Tempest. Low-key, I don't have a ton to say about this category if I'm being honest. Like, all of these debuts kind of flopped. Like, all these groups have really not been thriving if I'm being honest about it. The top 2 would probably be Tempest and Extraordinary Heroes. Extraordinary Heroes is probably going to win, and I'm already kind of bitter about it because just, like, I really don't like their debut song. Like, I, in fact, despise it. But, like, they're still probably going to win because, like, to be fair, they are probably the most successful of the nominees. But I'm going to move on because I'm going to just get bitter about it. However, I do want Tempest to win. Okay, now I'm moving on. The next category is going to be Best Female Artist, where our nominees are IU Taeyeon, and then Miyeon, Nayeon, and Seulgi. Now, I have a quick question before I actually just talk about these nominees, which is, why is Yenna stuck in the Best New Artist category, whereas Nayeon, Miyeon, and Seulgi, who are all in also established groups, are all not there? Like, they're all in the Best Female Artist category. I'm just curious. I'm assuming it's just because IZ*ONE disbanded and then she actually like made her solo debut, but like I'm very curious. Anyway, I actually do have some things to say about the nominee list, so primarily just being that Mion and Sogi shouldn't be here. Like, not to disparage, but they really shouldn't be here. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm gonna be honest about it, their solo debuts kind of flopped. Mion's especially, like, kind of really flopped, but Sugi's didn't do any better. Nayeon's can stay. Nayeon's is thriving. Like, Nayeon can stay. But the other two, like, they really shouldn't be here, and it's become, like, even more apparent when you think about artists that aren't here. Like, just for starters, Sunmi and Chungha aren't here, but also Kyungso, like, for the international fans who don't know who Kyungso is thriving, and yet she's not here. I just find it odd. I find it interesting. All that being said, Taeyeon is obviously supposed to win this category in my mind. I am a Taeyeon stan, so like I just want Taeyeon to win, but also like of the nominees, she had by far the biggest success this year. So yeah, Taeyeon should win. Next we have Best Male Artist, where our nominees are Hoseok, Daniel, Psy, Zico, and Im Young. Now, just like with Best Female Artist, I do wonder why Daniel and Hoseok are here, because again, kind of flop. Like, kind of flop a little bit. The other three can say, like, the other three I get it. Zico's actual comeback did kind of flop, but, like, New Thing is just now dropping from #1 on the Melon chart, so, like, I get it. So, like, why are Daniel and Hoseok here, though? Like, again, it's one of those things where, like, I understand they're just trying to appeal to the international audience. You don't have to tell me. Like, I get it. They want the international stands watching the mamas. But, like, BO? Big naughty? Like, I'm curious the decision-making process that had Hoseok and Daniel selected when, let's say, artists who did better were not. Anyway, in terms of who should win this category, logically speaking, it should go to Im Young. That man has been absolutely thriving this year, but I also wouldn't really, like, object to Zico or Psy winning. Both of them have also done quite well. Psy in particular, between the two of them, should win, but, like, if I had to choose the winner, logically speaking, Im Young. On to the best groups, where first up we have Best Female Group, where our nominees are Giddle, aespa, Blackpink, ITZY, Red Velvet, and Twice. Now, if you watched my 2021 Mama nominee video, you'll probably already be able to predict what I'm about to say, but the fact that IVE is not in this category, like, again, I get that IVE can't win Best Female Group because they're a rookie, but, like, IVE deserves this category. Like, I'm just gonna say it. IVE should be winning here. I said this last year about aespa. IVE should be winning here. Same thing, like why does this keep happening where like rookie girl groups will do just incredibly well and probably should be winning the best female group category and then they don't? Like, I don't get it. That's a separate issue, and that has never made sense to me, and they never will because common sense does not exist in the Mnet headquarters. Anyway, as for the actual listed nominees, they all do kind of make sense. The only one I'd really object to is Twice because, like, whilst, yeah, Twice's album did sell really well, they're like the third highest selling album of the ones listed. IVE's album also sold better, just mentioning, but, like, they also flopped digitally, so, like, Twice is the only one that I really don't get why they're here. But, like, I also do get why they're here, if you know what I mean. There's no one I would really replace them with that could be nominated. Aside from that, though, of the listed nominees, I would give it to Giddle. I think Giddle had the best year this year. Aside from that, maybe Blackpink, although I wouldn't really pick them over Giddle. The others probably shouldn't win. Next up is the best male group category, where we have Bangtan and Hypen, Stray Kids, 17, NCT Dream, and Tuxed. Now, this is another thing that will sound reminiscent to those who watched my feelings on the 2021 winners and nominees, but Bangtan definitely shouldn't win this category. Like, yet to come, kind of flop era. I'm just gonna say, by Bangtan standards, definitely flop era, but, like, also just, like, 17 just did better digitally with Hot. I'm just gonna say it. Plus, like, arguably Dream did better digitally. They definitely peaked higher, at least on the Gaon charts. They peaked at #1 and 2 this year, yet to come peaked at #4. So, like, just mentioning, which, like, in case you can tell, I do think Dream should win. I really want Dream to win this category because Dream deserves. But also, like, of the other nominees, sure. I do have one somewhat key question, though. Big Bang. Where are they? Big Bang's song, Still Life, is more successful than anything any of these groups have put out this year. Where are they? Where are they? We have finished the artist categories, and for the record, I want credit for having remembered and memorized all of these nominees. So, like, be impressed with me, but also I'm not going to do it for songs because that's, like, twice as hard. So just, you can look at the Soompi article at this point, figure it out. So our first song category is Best Vocal Performance by a Solo Artist. The nominees all do make sense. Like, there's no one on here that I would be like, that shouldn't be here. That's a flop song. That song doesn't make sense. Like, they all make sense. My only real question is, where is Kyungso? But, like, I think Mnet just kind of hates her because, yeah, she's not here, and she really should be, but whatever. She deserves, but, like, of the nominees, they're fine. I want Taeyeon to win because I'm a Taeyeon stan. Next is the Best Vocal Performance by a Group, and I must point out the hilarity to me that is the Enhypen Polaroid Love nomination. Like, I get it. It's because it was viral on TikTok, and TikTok did sponsor last year's Mamas. I don't know if they're sponsoring this year's, but they did sponsor the last year's Mamas, so, like, that could just be that it went viral on TikTok. However, first of all, the Treasure Stan in me does want to point out that Daddy also went viral on TikTok, so there is that. But, like, it also was just, it didn't do well, like, digitally. Like, I just don't understand. Anyway, Polaroid Love's existence on this list aside, this nominee list in general for this category is kind of a hot mess. Like, first question, why is WSG the only female artist in this grouping? Like, just curious. Also, WSG Wanna Be Called. They wanted to point out to you that at that moment was more successful than pretty much every song listed here except for Big Bangs. So that's also interesting to note. And speaking of Big Bangs, from a logical point of view, once more, like, speaking in terms of charting success, Big Bang should absolutely be winning this category, like, by far the most successful song on this list. However, I will also accept that Davichi win, because Davichi vocals, they're always slang. I love their vocals. They're so gorgeous. So, like, one of the two of them. Next is the Best Band Performance category, and I don't really know the band lore. Like, I don't know the lore for most of these songs simply because they all kind of flopped. So, not much lore to really bring up. However, I will say, Lucy deserves, Lucy should win. Lucy's entire discography slays, including this song, obviously, so, like, Lucy should win. We have now reached the Best Dance Performance section, which is started off with the Best Dance Performance by a Solo Artist, and these nominees make sense. They make more or less total sense. The only one I would have liked to add is Chungha, but, like, I hope you realize that's so much an improvement on the last year's nominees when I literally screamed about Taemin. Taemin didn't release anything this year. There's nothing for him to be nominated for. I still want him to win somehow because I think it would be really funny, but, like, there's nothing for him to be nominated for. I have nothing to scream about, and I live in an apartment now, so my neighbors are probably happy about that. Big picture, though, in terms of this category, Psy's probably gonna win just because, like, logically speaking, he had by far the biggest hit that's on this list. However, personally, I would pick Sunmi. Also, I do have a question, which is for once not going to be accusatory in nature. This is like genuine just curiosity. Do we think Zico's New Thing could have been nominated for this, even though, like, it's a Street Man Fighter song, so, like, it's not his choreography, but it is his song? I'm curious. I was thinking about this when I was taking these notes. I was like, I wonder if Zico could have won with New Thing, because, like, that song has been popping off recently, and, for the record, did go viral on TikTok, but, like, I'm curious. Either way, though, next is the Best Dance Performance by a Male Group, where, of the nominees, again, they do, for the most part, make sense, and logically, I will say 17 and Drink should probably win, like, one of the two. They had the two biggest comebacks that are on this list. However, because I am a chaos gremlin, and I like to see people lose their minds on Twitter, I kind of want Treasure to win, because Treasure is, like, by far the least popular artist that was nominated for this section, and I just think it would be wildly amusing if, like, the NCTzens, the Stays, the MOAs, if all of them were, like, viscerally screaming their heads off because Treasure won. I want it to happen. I think it would be really funny. We reach our final Best Dance Performance category, which is for female groups, and the nominees make sense for the most part. Like, I do wonder where ITZY is, because I feel like ITZY should be here, but I also don't have any artist that, like, I would kick off to replace with ITZY, if you know what I mean. So, like, I'm confused why they're not here, but I also get it at the same time. That's all I really have to say about the nominees, but I do have a question. I have another question. Why are rookies allowed to win in this category when they can't win in Best Female Group? Because, like, literally half of the nominees on here are artists that were nominated for Best New Female Artist, and low-key should have been nominated for Best Female Group, I mean. But, like, I'm curious about that, and also IVE should win, because Love Dive was, if you ask me, the biggest hit of 2022. Spoiler alert for when I do my Song of the Year video, but, like, Love Dive should win this category. Next, Best OST. I really don't care about this category all that deeply, if I'm being honest. Like, from a pure success point of view, Mellow Man should absolutely be winning. Like, their song peaked higher and charted way longer and way better than any of the other nominees. However, Mnet doesn't do logical decision makings. Common sense, as I have stated, does not exist in the Mnet cinematic universe. So, if I had to guess, one of the Bangtan nominees is going to win. If I had to pick one, like between Jimin and Tae, I would pick Jimin entirely because I want Sunghoon to win a Mama, because I really like him, so I want his OST to win with Jimin. We have reached the penultimate category, which is Best Collaboration, and this is the category that made me the most angry, in fact, just because, like, clearly you can use features. Like, when I first was thinking about this category, because I didn't feel like actually looking and like checking to see like historically what they've done, but like clearly you can do features, because like that is nominated and for the record should win, before I forget to mention that should be winning. But like you can clearly use features. That isn't credited as being by Psy and Yoongi. It's credited as Psy featuring and produced by Yoongi. So like clearly you can use features, right? However, at least 2 of the nominations for this category flopped. Like, Loco and Hwasa in particular deeply flopped. They absolutely should not be here. But also the Uwanje collab also really shouldn't be here. That song didn't do all that well either. Meanwhile, there are, like, very successful collabs that just aren't on this list. Like, B.O.'s Counting Stars, Ganadara by Jay Park. Really, just, there's so many collabs on here that aren't listed. Meanwhile, they also listed like 2 brand new songs. The Crush song and the Big Naughty 10cm song both just came out within the past like month or 2, and they're both nominated, which like, sure, but I'm very confused. I got so heated when I was like looking at this list of nominations for like this category in particular, because I was like, what is happening? We need to move on before I start screaming. Okay, like, my point is, Psy should win, moving on. Last but not least, we have the Best Hip Hop and Urban Music category, which I did not name, so don't take it up with me. But for this one, more or less the nominees make sense. Hoseok is the only one that really stands out because the song like did by far the worst of the ones that are nominated, but like it's fine. It's not that deep. Of the ones that like realistically should be winning, for the record, I do think Hoseok is going to win because Mnet is stupid. But for the ones that I think should win, I would pick between the Big Naughty song, because that song did really well, but I actually want Jay Park to win for one key reason. I want to give IU credit for him winning, and that brings me to a question that I have. This is another just sheer curiosity question, because like for Best Collaboration, I'm assuming they have multiple trophies, because like by definition, you have multiple artists winning in that category. But for like these songs, right, like if Bia won with Counting Stars, does he get a trophy and does Benzino get a trophy, or is it just like, Bio, you get the trophy, it sucks to suck to be Benzino? Like, I'm just curious. That's totally irrelevant. My point is I want Jay Park to win so I can give IU credit. And that's all the nominations. I'm gonna do its own video for Song, Album, and Artist of the Year, just because I have a lot to say about them. So like they're getting their own video that should be out in the somewhat near future if I had to guess. But other than that, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment your own thoughts on everything I had to say in the description. Let me know how wrong or right I was. I think I'm right because this is my opinion, but you can think I'm wrong because that's your opinion. We can have different opinions. You can also like and subscribe or dislike if you want to. I will be okay no matter what you choose to do. I will survive. You can also follow me on Twitter at s_album_reviews. I will link that in the description along with any other 2022 Mama videos that I do. I will like link those down there after I post them just because I have a lot planned, let's say. So like you can check those out if you so choose, assuming they're down there already. But yeah, thank you again for watching. Bye!